YouTube found a community, zombies fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the Zombies' unofficial last album at the time, R.I.P. This happens to be a Craft Recordings reissue, or I guess an issue of it, if you will. Long story short, after the Zombies had made Odyssey and Oracle, they basically broke up. Things weren't working out financially for them, and they all kind of went off in different directions for the most part. Chris and Rod were going to stick with music. The other guys went out and got normal jobs because they needed to make money. The Zombies in England were never a big selling band. They had a couple of big songs, but beyond that, they were always kind of scraping by. They made Odyssey and Oracle mostly with their own money. In America, they were much more popular because they were part of the British invasion, so She's Not There, Tell Her No. These songs did really well in the States. So after Odyssey and Oracle came out, didn't really make much of a wave. Time of the Season came out as a single almost a year and a half later and became a humongous sleeper hit. All of a sudden, this song was top in the charts, and Date Records in the States was like, hey, we need some more Zombies music. Come make some more Zombies music. And at this point, the Zombies weren't a band, and contractually they weren't able to get with each other again, so Chris and Rod, who were going to do a whole other project, said, all right, well, let's see if we can make something happen with what we got. So they wrote some new songs. They took a bunch of old unreleased stuff and kind of like spiffed it up to make it sound slightly more modern, and had every intention of putting out a new album and to hit the road as the Zombies again, because there was a group out there called the Zombies riding the wave of Time of the Season who were all imposters. They weren't the real group. So that's pretty lame. Anyways, they put out a single called Imagine the Swan, which is on this album. It did absolutely nothing, and Date Records was like, nah, screw it, don't bother with it, it's fine, just let it die. And that's what happened. Then Rod went on to form Argent, and then, eventually the Zombies got back together many years later, and they've had some really good success in the last 10 years. But at the time, these were the last new recordings from the Zombies. So side 1, Colin doesn't even sing on this thing. Side 2 is all Colin vocals because they're all older songs. And he actually came back and redid the vocals for the last song, Walking in the Sun. The great thing about this record is it has the entire story on the back, so if you want to read more of that in detail, if you pick this thing up, there it is. I think this was like $20. It's really not that expensive, and it's an absolutely fantastic listen. Does it make sense as an album? Kinda. Odyssey and Oracle makes more sense because they were all there, they were all writing, they were all doing this project together. This does kind of sound like a collection of songs they had laying around that they spiffed up to try to put together as a record. So, I mean, it kind of works. Would it have been the grand success follow-up that they maybe would have wanted? I doubt it. But to the Zombies collector and to the Zombies fan, this is a goldmine of absolutely fantastic tracks and definitely worth hearing. She Loves the Way They Love Her is the opening track on here, and the first half of the album all was recorded in December of '68. And this song is fantastic. It's a very Lou Reed-ish vocal on this one, which I thought was really cool. The guitar leads are there, and then you get the magic of those harmonies, and that's a very Zombies thing, of those fantastic harmonies that they can do. Complex chord changes, the whole thing is here. The only thing that's a bit of an oddity are these cheering crowd bits here and there throughout the song, which I guess they were trying to give the impression off that maybe it was like a live track or that people would want to hear this in concert. Maybe that's the case. But anyways, really fun song. Imagine the Swan is track 2, and it's a great single, but it completely flopped. It did absolutely nothing on the charts. Delicate vocals over that harpsichord, which is very Odyssey and Oracle-ish, if you will. Tight drums, nice smooth bass, and it's got a very joyous chorus. And it's too bad the song failed because it really is a great song. Is it the best follow-up to Time of the Season? Probably not, but a very cool song nonetheless. Smoky Day. This song for me could have very easily fit on Odyssey and Oracle. It's got that Baroque-esque feel that some of Odyssey and Oracle has. It's moody, it's got some smoky feeling, so the name of the song really fits that vibe. Just a cool atmosphere on this track. Then you got Girl Help Me, which is one of my absolute favorites here. I love the lead vocal on this one. Those quick changes in the chorus are absolute classic Zombies. This track should have been a single. I think it would have been actually a decent-sized hit. The background vocals nail it. This song is just an earworm, total hook on this track. I Could Spend the Day, the next one on here, again, another favorite. And that lead guitar that follows the vocal is wonderful. Very George Harrison-esque, if you ask me. soaring away background vocals, more of that Zombies magic, the piano solo, the echo on the fade out, and the whole thing just screams perfect zombie song. And then the last track on side one, Conversation Off Floral Street. This is an instrumental track, upbeat and shaking around. It's got excellent percussive elements, the hand claps, the tambourine, there's an organ solo on it. Very reminiscent of Time of the Season for this one. And the build-up has the build-up to a very chill sort of vibe throughout the last half of the song. Kind of reminds me of Wider Shade of Pale. Side two, this is where the older stuff kicks in. Then you get, If It Don't Work Out, which had been a B-side, I think, because I knew this song already. And it's a really cool, I don't want to say reimagining, because they took the original track and added stuff to it. So embellishment, I guess, would be a better word. They added orchestral pieces to it. So you get strings and stuff kind of stabbing here and there on, in back of the vocal track. And it actually makes for a really fantastic listen. It actually kind of builds the song up to something completely different, because it was more of a chiller R&B style song. And hearing the orchestral bits added on top elevates it to an Odyssey and Oracle experience. And I'm going to use that comparison a lot, because that really is a benchmark album to use for comparison, especially coming after that album, creating something that you hoping the audience would pick up. It definitely helps out the song having orchestral bits on there. I'll Call You Mine. This one dates back to 1966, and it's the quote-unquote newest song on here at the time, before the 68 tracks were done. But you can't deny Colin's smooth vocal presentation. I mean, his voice, for as much as the other guys were great vocalists too, Colin's voice, that breath of perfect air, is undeniably Zombies. The articulate punch that he delivers is such a stamp of approval to tie a bow on the song and call it the Zombies. You can't go wrong. The building up in that chorus is infectious. This could have been a single. It's definitely got that sunshine pop, warm feel kind of vibe. The classic drumming on that ride cymbal, perfection. I'll Keep Trying. One of the older tracks, again from June of '65 in this one, and it shows a little bit, not in a bad way, but it definitely shows that they've grown as artists by this point. So it would be kind of like if the Beatles took something off of Please Please Me and tried to put it on Rubber Soul. They can make it work, but it kind of sticks out a little bit. And again, not in a bad way. Still a great song, but definitely one of the tracks I've heard on here that I'm kind of like, okay, that shows its age a little bit. I Know She Will. This one also written by Chris. The orchestrations add a really nice syrupy texture on this one, and I like the emotion it kind of delivers for that. Pop perfection. Great harmonies. The breaks are effective for the storytelling. The whole track just works so well. Don't Cry for Me. Punchy, confident, post-breakup anthem, if you will. Kind of a confessional song, but really chugging guitars on this one. A little bit different for a Zombies track. But the non-stop beating drums, the soaring group harmonies, they kind of blend in that Zombies feel underneath that really intense guitar work. And then Walking in the Sun. If there's one song you hear on this album, make sure it's Walking in the Sun. It's the last track here. Colin came back to redo a vocal for this one, a lead vocal, I should say. And it's the oldest song on the bunch. This one dates back to 1964, so it's really old at this point. But this should have been a hit, and this could have fit in Odyssey Oracle as well. But it's a great closing track. It's an album highlight. Colin's new vocal is absolutely fantastic. It's just a confident, smooth, airy delivery. And if you're a Zombies fan and you don't know this song, bring it up on YouTube, buy the album, find a way to listen to it. Walking in the Sun, absolute classic Zombies. So let me show you the back of this thing here. Just gives you the story, and it gives you the track rundown with the dates they recorded them. And they call the album R.I.P. because the Zombies didn't exist as a band anymore, so they thought it'd be a funny name. It definitely works. And show you the record here. Just your standard black affair. Or fair, rather. The record itself sounds fantastic. It's very clean, excellent dynamics. Whoever mixed it at Craft Recordings there did a fantastic job. A lot of fun to listen to. So yeah, that's the review. The Zombies, R.I.P. For me, this is easily a 9 out of 10 album. If you're a Zombies fan, There's not a lot to dig into from them because there just wasn't that much material, but thankfully enough, there are demos and alternate takes that we can enjoy. And having these songs collected as one record makes for a fantastic listen and definitely an essential part of their discography. So if you haven't heard it, dig into it. It's been around for a long time at this point, but it was new to me. So I was very excited to finally get into this thing. And that's it. 9 out of 10. The Zombies R.I.P. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Giggens. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think about this thing, and I'll see you soon. Bye.